What's good, everybody? In today's video, we're doing a midterm review. So I'm going to look at about 6 to 7 different problems on the most common topics you will see on your midterm. In our first problem, guys, they're giving us a fraction with a radical. And typically when we have these type of problems, we want to get rid of our radical. And I'm going to show you the right way and the wrong way to do this. So what students like to do is they want to come in here and get rid of the denominator by multiplying by 9. So they'll get 27 on top, x plus 8, fraction is gone, and this is equal to 54. But if you continue doing this problem like this, it's going to be wrong. Why? Because we didn't properly get rid of this fraction. So let's say we just stopped right there, because if you continue going, you're going to get the wrong answer. So let's say we did it Mr. Peters' way. What is the best thing to do? Let's simplify. So once I simplify now, I'm going to have radical x plus 8 all over 3 is equal to positive 6. Now to get rid of that denominator, that fraction, now I can multiply by 3 and we're less likely to make a mistake. So now we have radical x plus 8 is equal to 18. And if we look here, right, after we divided, this was going to be 2. 54 divided by 27 is 2. So you can see we were wrong, right? All right, so now we got that done. We need to get rid of the radical, right? We know to the power of 2. It has a root of 2, so we take it to the second power. Do the same thing on the other side. Radical gone. This turns into x plus 8. 18 squared. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I want to say it's 324. Fact check me, please. Now, we always have to get the variable and the constants on the opposite side of the equal sign. So I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides, and x is equal to 316. If we need a double check, just plug it back in, simplify, and with that, let's go to problem number 2. Problem number 2, guys, we're dealing with rearranging equations, and you're definitely going to see this on your midterm. So they gave us an equation, area is equal to half the base times height, and they asked us to solve for h, meaning get h by itself. Number 1, let's get rid of the fraction by multiplying by 2. Once I multiply by 2, these 2's cancel. We're left with 2a is equal to b times h. So automatically, I probably could eliminate answer choice D, eliminate answer choice B, right? Now to get H absolutely by itself, I know that H is being multiplied by B. So we're working backwards to solve. We're going to divide. And once I divide, H it's by itself, and H is equal to what? 2 times A divided by B, and that's going to give me the answer choice of A. So just remember these principles, guys. It's the same principles as solving equations, but we can't combine some of these because they're not like terms. But in our next example, we're going to do a very similar problem, but they're going to throw a square root in there. In this next example, guys, we're dealing with rearranging formulas, but now we have what we're going to call a radical, the square root. So they want us to now solve this equation and get r by itself. So to solve this, guys, when we're dealing with this equation here, the first thing we're going to want to do is to isolate p by dividing. We're going to be distributing it to the parentheses, so we're going to divide the start. So when I start this off, I'm going to have, and let's switch to blue. I'm going to have a divided by p is equal to parentheses 1 plus r to the t power. So remember, 1 plus r, it's grouped together. And before we could actually separate them, we have to address the exponent. So anytime we're trying to get the exponent, we take the root of it, right? So we're going to take the t root of it. And on the opposite side, we're going to do the same thing, because they didn't let us know exactly what exponent, what power, what root it is. So we're just going to assume it's t. So now I have the t root of a divided by p. And now on this side, because I use that radical, right? Now we're only left with 1 plus r. And now if we want to get r by itself, we're going to focus on this 1 and we're going to subtract. So my final answer should be, we're going to take the t root of a divided by p, subtract 1, right? Because that's what we had to do. And this is going to be equal to r. So when we focus on this part of the equation, guys, our answer choice should be letter choice C. Same exact thing, my r is just on the right side. So please remember this when we're rearranging the equations that have just variables and a square root. You know we're going to talk about solving equations in our midterm review. So before we actually solve this, guys, let's just touch on these solutions. So let's say we had something like 1 is equal to 3. There would be 0 solutions because this is not true. If we had x is equal to 1, that is one solution. If we had an exponent, right, and we said x is equal to plus or minus 5, like with quadratic equations, that's 2 solutions. And if we have a situation where, let's say, 5 is equal to 5 or x is equal to x, that means no matter what number value we plug in for x, those 2 equations are always going to have the same solution and it will be infinitely many. So now that we understand that, let's just go back because that's what we're looking for. We're going to solve this and our answer is going to let us know how many solutions there are. So we go through here, we distribute. 6 times x minus 5, I get 6x minus 30. On the other side, don't forget your negative. They're betting on us to forget. So we distribute negative 4 to x plus 3, negative 4x minus 12. Now just do this step at one step at a time. Plus 4x plus 4x. So I got 10x minus 30 is equal to negative 12. Variable and constant on opposite side of the equal sign. So let's bring 30 over to the right side. 10x is equal to, let's see, 30 minus 12, that's 8, 2. All right, so this should be 18, right? Now we divide by 10, we get x is equal to 18 over 10. Now I'm not going to simplify it, and the reason why, do you guys know the reason why? They didn't ask us for the answer. They just said how many solutions? X is equal to one number. That lets me know, hey, answer is B. We only have one solution for this problem. Back to another radical equation, guys. And typically when we have radical equations, that means what? We're going to have 2 answers, more than likely. So it says radical 4x minus b is equal to 6. If b is equal to 3, what is the solution set? And I'm going to show you why most students get this wrong. I really hope you find this question helpful. So let's do some substituting, right? Because I know everybody's going to look and say, oh, Peters, this easy. Hey, man, I know you guys are so smart. I know it's easy. But let me just help you avoid this one mistake. So we go through, right? We know, hey, we need the square to get rid of the radical. Okay, perfect. We're on 10. I go and I do the same thing on the other side, right? Radical is gone. We're left with 4x minus 3 is equal to, guys, just remember, this is a binomial, expanded and FOIL. So this should be x minus 6 multiplied by x minus 6, meaning you should get a trinomial. And the trinomial will be x squared minus 12x plus 36, right? X times x is x squared. X times negative 6 is negative 6x. Negative 6 times x is negative 6x. Combine those two, negative 12x, negative 6 and 6, positive 36. That was a lot in a short period of time. Sorry. All right, so now what we're going to do, combine like terms. So we're going to subtract 4x, boom, from 12x. Now we have negative 3 is equal to x squared minus 16x plus 36. But just to keep some space, we're going to add 3 on both sides, right? So after I add 3, this is now 0, and I add 3 to 39, 36, it's now 39. Now at this point, guys, we're getting closer to solving. We have to factor, okay? So my 2 factors, I know when I multiply will give me 39. When I add will give me negative 16. So I have x minus 13 times x minus 3. Now, the reason why students get this problem wrong is because they see, oh, negative 13, negative 3. Oh, my answer is D. But whoa, that's wrong. Remember the zero product property? I know you do. So when we're working with the zero product property, what do? We take both our factors, x minus 13, set it equal to 0. Solve, mean I add 13 on both sides. X is equal to positive 13. Same thing with x minus 3. X minus 3 is equal to 0. We add on both sides. X is equal to positive 3. So my answer is not D, it's actually C. So please make sure you guys don't take too many shortcuts and just do the extra steps. Last problem of this video, guys, and we really hope you found this video helpful and there were some helpful gems. So now we're dealing with solving for x, and they're asking us which value is the solution to the equation. And this is a very simple problem. If you already see it, tips to you. If not, let's just make sure we don't make a simple or silly mistake. So what a lot of students would want to do is to get rid of the fraction and multiply by the denominator so they could try to factor or something, right? And you could do that. Or if you like me and you like to keep it simple, it's a fraction. Anytime we have something in the bottom or the top and the bottom, we could cancel, right? Yeah, so that's gone, that's gone, that's 1. Now what I'm left with is x plus 1 is equal to 0. We subtract 1 from both sides. X is equal to negative 1. So when it asks us which value is a solution to the equation, you guys know that the answer is going to be D. X is equal to negative 1. And with that, guys, we are done with our midterm review. Thank you guys so much for joining us today with Algebra 1 with Mr. Peters. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave comments for future videos you guys would like to see on our channel. Or if you guys had questions on today's video, thank you so much for joining us.